All right, so I'm gonna do like a unboxing video here for the HGLRC Sector5 V3. So this is the DJI version. It comes in an analog version as well. I think it comes with like a Vertel camera. Wasn't too interested in the analog version because this is basically another vanilla 5-inch, freestyle drone. There's so many of those out there already. But this one was a little more interesting. Obviously, it comes with the DJI air unit. I actually thought this was going to come with the Vista, but it comes with the air unit, so it's a little bit heavier than I thought it was going to be. Plus, it comes with a lot of TPU on here, which does add weight, but I think it'll help with the durability. So obviously trade-offs there. Let's just show you what comes in the box. So we get the drone, of course, and we'll obviously cover that in this video. You get some, looks like this is some fabric tape. You get extra screws and nuts in case you lose any, but interestingly, these are just the normal steel screws, whereas the ones on the drone are all golden color, so they don't really match up. So if you lose any, you're going to have a mismatching color. That's something I'm going to have to notify HGLRC about. So you get a bunch of these TPU spare parts here. You get this. This is for holding the. I'm not exactly sure. Maybe it's just for the. I think this is for holding the XD60 here on that standoff. So you get an extra one of those. Get a lens protector, I think, for the Hero 6. This is the Hero 6 GoPro mount. Just like that. And they just have a universal mount on here. I might switch it out now. I might just put like a Runcam 5 on here just because I'm lazy. But has like a little screw that goes through the frame here, and this part here can go up and down, so you can adjust your angle. You can see there's a screw there, so if you bring this all the way down, you'll get a really massive angle, but this one is pretty good, so I'll leave that alone. And you get a spare cable for your air unit if you want to hook it up to something else. Lens protector for the DJI camera. So it just come with a little bit of a setup guide here. And this one does look like it's for the analog version. And this one comes with the 60 amp 32-bit 4-in-1 ESC. So it's 3 to 6S, of course. The version I have is the 4S version. And I think the 4S version is 2550 kV. The 6S versions comes with a 1900 kV motor. So if you think about it, I thought this was gonna be lighter, so I was thinking I'll go with the 4S, but it's since it's coming with a full size air unit, I probably should have picked the 6S, just because you get a little more flight time and you can carry the weight a little bit better. So yeah, I would recommend if you're concerned about the weight and you want more flight time, get the 6S version. Yeah, it's kind of my mistake. I thought it was the Vista unit. If it was Vista, I think 4S would have been fine. I think overall would have been lighter. But if you're going with if you're going to get this with the air unit, obviously, I would recommend 6S if you have 6S batteries. Obviously, if you only have 4S batteries, then you have no choice but to go 4S. But anyway, the stack in here is the Zeus F722. So this is the 30x30 one, obviously, and then the 30x30 4-in-1 ESC. I never reviewed these parts here. I reviewed the Mini on my channel before, so and it's nothing too special. It's obviously they've revised this their flight controllers over time, and they got some nice set of solder pads there on the side as well, and the inside they're nice and big, and you can see that here. Let's see if I can get the camera to show you that. All the pads are nice and big. This is a really clean build, by the way. Seems like these drone manufacturers are getting quite good at making very clean builds. All right, get some stickers here and two different kinds of battery straps. Two big ones and two sort of medium-sized ones. All right, you get these LED boards and some heat shrink, and it looks like they just use these little JST 3-pin connectors. I think you've probably seen these on my channel before. I think these are the same ones I've reviewed a long time ago, but they just go on the arms. Of course, they didn't install these are optional. Of course, it's going to add more weight, but they just plug in right there on the flight controller. And if you want to add a lot more lights and stuff, they do include this, so that's optional. And here is the props that are included. The Ethics S5, 3-bladed, so what the prop looks like. Actually, I don't think I've ever flown this one before. All right, so let's look at the drone and let's look at the motors here. So I can't quite read this. AOLS, I think is the name of these new motors. This is obviously a new design. I haven't seen this one before, but looks pretty nice. Not too, yeah, pretty nice sounding bearings. We got a nice single-stranded copper wire in there. And these are 23, what are these? 2306 and a half, 2550, and the 6S will have the 1900 kV motors. So again, lots of TPU, as you can see here. So if you crash a lot, might be a good thing. Or if you are in a lot of concrete areas, then your carbon's not going to get all torn up here on the ends. A lot of protection for the motor. But again, you know, with more protection comes more weight. So you got protection here on the arms. You got one here on the front. So if you're skidding along here, it looks like the arms and the front of the frame are about the same. So this whole front skid is going to be protected with this TPU part here. TPU mount for your HD camera. And then you got a TPU mount for the air unit, as well as mounts for both of your antennas in the back here. And they are including this. This is the M80 GPS. I think all the models have this now. This is their newest, latest and greatest GPS. I think it has a faster processor in there, so it should lock on really quick. But one thing to note is that while the GPS is set up in the drone, so obviously it'll pick up satellites, and you'll see that on your OSD. It's not set up for GPS rescue. So they actually asked them about that. They actually turned that off deliberately, because apparently GPS rescue, if you don't understand how to use it properly, tends to be kind of you just crash, and that's quite dangerous. So they turned that off for safety reasons, because apparently a lot of people out there don't understand how to use that and use it properly. So I'm going to have a totally separate video on that. If you guys want to know how to set that up. I did a video like 2 years ago on how to set up GPS rescue, but this is now in version 4.2, so I might do an updated video on how to do that. So if you're interested in that, leave me a comment in the comment section down below, and let me know what kind of questions you have about setting this up on this particular model, or just GPS rescue in general, and I will consider those questions for a future video. In terms of other questions, if you have anything regarding this drone for the flight demo, when I fly it, obviously I'm going to narrate the flight. I will try and address some of those questions in the flight, and maybe take some of the suggestions in the actual flight demo itself. So leave your questions or suggestions down in the comment section down below, and I will follow that up in the next video where the flight's going to occur. Anyway, so this TPU part here, looks like it's in two parts here. So you got it looks like this part here for the DJI antennas. You have a part here for the GPS unit, which is at an angle. Now, this here, the GPS being here next to the air unit's antennas, these are obviously receiving and transmitting. I kind of wonder how much is going to interfere with the location here, because I know that on analog VTXs you don't want them anywhere near the GPS, and if there's an analog VTX back here, if this is their normal location on the analog version, kind of worried that you might have some interference issues, and the GPS may not be that reliable. But I guess I'll find out later how much that signal varies. But there's this TPU part here, this TPU part here, and then another one down here at the bottom that's on the standoff that also holds the Crossfire antennas. This is the Crossfire version, and they've included the little stubbies for the XM Plus antenna, but there's no XM Plus in here, so I'm not sure why they installed those. I'm just going to probably take those off. This is extra weight, and yeah, so there's a mount here for your Crossfire antenna in the back. And it looks like, yeah, it's a little on the loose side, but that's all right. And what's kind of nice is they will mount the receiver here. And you probably can't see that, but the bind button is very easily accessible on this Crossfire receiver. And if you got the XM Plus version or some other receiver, they're going to make the bind button accessible right there because they have the receiver mounted in that spot. And I'm sure on the analog version, since it's using the same frame, that's probably where the receiver is going to go as well for the analog version. All right, so back to the frame itself, pretty typical 5-inch freestyle type of frame. Looks like it's an H-style design. Separated arms, of course, 5mm arms. They are chamfered. The top plate is chamfered. This middle plate here is not as much. Maybe it's not that sharp though. So those plates are 2mm. I think the bottom plate's only 2mm as well. So 2mm, 2mm. Sandwich plate 2mm there. Arms are 5mm. You got this nice gold colored screws, and then you have these press fit nuts there for the holding the arms on. So fairly vanilla design here, nothing unusual or different. Obviously, you have enough space here for the air unit in the back. Sometimes these are a little bit too tight. Nothing too unusual in terms of the design. That's pretty typical. And the carbon is 3K carbon. That's also pretty typical. But here's what the drone weighs without the props. Yeah, 453 grams. Actually not as bad as I thought it was going to be. I'll throw the props on here. This is going to be the weight without battery. So 472 grams. So actually I thought it was going to be over 500. So it does feel pretty heavy, but it definitely ain't light. All right, so yeah, this is going to do it for this video. I just wanted to kind of show you guys this drone a little bit more closer detail and in a little more detail and a little bit longer video, because I usually kind of gloss over a lot of stuff in, like, if I just kind of cram this with the flight footage. So I'm going to put the flight footage in the next one. So, and also this will give you an opportunity for you guys to ask your questions, and I can maybe answer them as I do the voiceover narration on the flight. So yeah, it's another 5-inch. I think the next DJI, I've got a whole bunch of these DJI drones coming. They're with either Vista or the Air unit. I think I'm going to be getting the iFlight Nazgul HD, Nazgul 5 HD. So it's basically the Nazgul 5. I think that one's got Vista. I get very confused because there's so many products, and so like I don't have that. I have everything memorized off the top of my head, but I think that one's Vista. So that'll be interesting to compare this one to that iFlight one that's coming. I think that one's going to be probably lighter than this one, but it may not have as much protection in terms of like bumpers and stuff for crashing. So if that's it's all trade-offs, right? So if you want more protection, more crash durability, and that kind of thing, you're going to be paying the price in terms of weight. Anyway, enough of me rambling. That's going to do it for this video. I'll talk to you guys in the next one.